being. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know, people may not be watching this in the morning, so hello, welcome. Just thought of that. And oh my, Anita, how you've changed. You've morphed into the one, the only, the beautiful Linsay Doyle. Yay!
Hello, good morning.
We are so happy, like literally last minute Linsay stepped in because you know we do these Facebook lives live every Friday morning, and well, Anita has her grandbabies and one of them is not doing so good right at the moment. He's been a little bit sick. Okay, let's just say a lot sick, and she's caring for him. So we reached out. She reached out to our dear friend and fellow certified essential feng shui practitioner, Linsay Doyle from Edmonton. Ah! And Linsay was meditating. You have to tell the story because it's pretty cute.
Yeah, literally, 5 minutes ago, I got the call and I was doing my morning meditation and I put my phone away, but I guess it's still on vibrate. And so all I hear throughout my session is, who is messaging me?
What the heck is going on here?
Yeah, so yeah, unexpected, but happy to be here, all on purpose, and yeah.
Yeah, we're thrilled you're here. I know Anita is very appreciative, and so am I, because you know I'm okay doing this alone. I keep looking over here because I'm trying to see who's on Facebook, and I can't get that.
Oh, so. Yeah, I just popped on my phone too.
Okay, perfect. I'll let you handle that, and I'll do the rest.
I got you.
Thank you. Of course you do. And she's meditated, so she's calm. And I'm not. I haven't. And I'm this morning. So maybe these today are for us, for me, to inspire myself.
Actually, that would be a good place to start if you wanted to. Maybe we can just start with like a couple.
Absolutely. Please lead us.
Okay, well, I guess we just sit nice and firmly in our chairs with our feet on the floor. And sitting up nice and tall, we'll just take 4 deep breaths in through the nose. And release. One more. Oh, that feels nice.
Perfect.
Deep breath.
Oh, you know, it is amazing when we tap into our breath.
Absolutely.
How, like, that was less than a minute, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And how quickly we can just find our center.
Absolutely.
So what a great reminder if you're having a frazzled day or you come home and maybe you walk into your space and you're feeling frazzled. Just, you know what? It is what it is. And how you react or how you respond is totally a choice, isn't it?
You are in control and you have the power. And
100%. So what's very exciting today is our 70th episode. Like, that's amazing. Consistently over a year, like 52 weeks, so we're already 18 weeks past doing this consistently every week, bringing you, we hope, some entertainment, some inspiration, some feng shui tips and thoughts, and we always, well, 99% of the time, take our guide and our lead from the Feng Shui Personal Paradise card deck by Tara Catherine Collins, who is our mentor and she's our friend. She's the founder of the Western School of Feng Shui, where all 3 of us are certified through. And the cool part is Linsay and I met when we did our Feng Shui practitioner training at the same time by Anita, who is the only Canadian certified to teach the program. So I love how it's come full circle.
Totally.
Totally. So now I know Linsay, well, Anita knows her numerology really well. And I always refer to this book. And I know Linsay got this book, so yay. So while I'm shuffling and getting our theme for the day, why don't you tell us about the number 7?
Okay. So the seven is for those that are on a spiritual or inspirational path. It connects the ascended masters to being of the earth. It is about transforming or transcending information and radiating it beyond where the information is housed physically or emotionally. The seven is capable of overcoming obstacles. Yes, dear one, all obstacles. So the seven is about being in the head, intuition, inner wisdom, analyzing, spirituality and practicality, enlightenment, introspection, and going within.
Beautiful. I know that Adirondack always talks about the shape. So what's in there about the shape of it? Because that's always entertaining for me.
The shape, the single digit seven, is actually somewhat unstable like the 4. It has a weak foundation, yet it is always top heavy. So top, what it represents, like being in the head, right? So it is a bit astrometrical with the lack of foundation and searching for new energies. The 7 represents a powerful cycle of time that is coming to or leaving perfection. So depending upon what is happening in one's life.
Of course it is. And we know it was just the solstice a few days ago. Ooh. So we're coming into, how perfect, right? Coming into the season of summer here in the Northern Hemisphere anyway, and leaving it for those in the Southern Hemisphere, and they're going into winter, and we're not. Yay, we're not. Oh, so cool. So the first card that came up is number 47, which is an 11, a master number. So we'll talk about that. And it is the wealth and prosperity area when we talk about the Bagua. So yay. And then the number 34 card. And 3 and 4 equals?
I love it. Oh, I love the universe.
You can't make this stuff up. You really can't. You got to tune in just to see the synchronicities. Now, what's interesting about this one, it's the single man's bedroom. So this may be a very interesting topic, especially when you combine wealth and prosperity with the single man. So why don't you, Ms. Linsay, which one would you like to talk about first and take the lead? And I'm going to find the Bagua card so we can refer to it.
Sure. Well, I guess I can discuss the wealth and prosperity.
Absolutely.
Does it have like a little blurb on the card that you could read actually?
It does. And I don't have my glasses on. So enhance the wealth and prosperity too. So if you want to enhance it for these reasons, you want to enhance it for these reasons, maybe generate more cash flow, gather resources for a special purpose. And I really like that because quite often when we think of wealth and prosperity, we think about abundance and finances, and it's not always about money. And strengthen the attributes of gratitude, which is what I've really been working on lately. So it also goes on to list what you could enhance with. How about you tell people what they could enhance with?
I would love to. So actually, I am sitting in my wealth and prosperity corner right now.
Perfect.
So based on the placement, if you are standing at your front door, your wealth and prosperity would be the top left corner. So there, Cheryl, showing the Bagua map.
Right there. So if you're standing at your front door anywhere here, and you stick your left arm in, and you point it to the far left corner, and you wave it all about, that's where your wealth and prosperity really is. I am not a singer. I don't claim to be, but I do try to be entertaining.
You bring fire, absolutely. And we love it.
Okay, so back to wealth and prosperity, the area.
Yeah.
Of
So
the bagua, sorry.
yeah, no, that's okay. So so even like some of the details I have behind me right now, like, so it is part of like the wood element. So some of the colors that you actually see in the background here, like the royal blue, the greens, purples, plants. So I have my beautiful money tree here doing very well. Some new life here.
Yay, that's awesome.
I actually have also, I did have a water feature. So a nice water feature would be nice placement for that area.
And why water?
So water represents career. So that would be a great enhancement. So yeah, for career, you're bringing in cash flow, money, maybe ideas for potential projects. So
and flow, right?
And the flow,
and
yeah.
the flow of abundance.
The flow of abundance. So again, with any type of water feature, you want the flow going in towards the house or in a 360 degree.
Yeah.
Also for art, if you wanted to bring in features with water, pictures with water or fountains, again, making sure that flow of water is going in towards the house.
Well, and when we talk about the five, sorry to interrupt you, but we're talking about water, and Lindsay mentioned that the wealth and prosperity area is associated with the element wood. So we talk about 5-element theory in Feng Shui, and we use it often. And we talk about the nourishing cycle, and water nourishes the wood. So it's also helping that wood to grow. So her money tree, her beautiful Boston fern that is just expanding exponentially. It's gorgeous.
It is wild. I live in the jungle.
That's awesome.
It's honestly amazing. It's grown and it's just flourishing. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. So if in my office, and I would show you a picture, but I've got all my lighting set up here. In my wealth and prosperity area of my office is a big sign that says everything is possible.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Made out of wood. And then Anita had gifted me with the counterpart. So when you see Anita, quite often you see this beautiful horizontal red framed painting of bamboo. Well, her friend that painted it also did a companion that's vertical. So I have the companion hanging in my wealth and prosperity. And again, that red, the purpley colors, the royalty colors symbolize wealth. Now, bad people do this. So don't do this. Don't paint the area purple. Okay, just don't. Bring in the colors that represent what you want when it comes to balance. We want to still create that balance. Because I've had people go, I'm going to paint the room purple. No, don't do that.
Well, I mean, you could do a feature wall.
You could do one space, yes.
Subtle. Yeah, absolutely.
But more in Feng Shui does not equal better. More equals yang energy. And then we have to balance it out with a bunch of other stuff. So
yeah, absolutely.
Stay neutral and bring in the colors, bring in what represents wealth to you. So for people, it could be, Lindsay touched on artwork. It could also be a collection. So if you're an art collector, for example, sculptors, it's beautiful.
Turtle.
Nice. Or money turtle. It could be for some an objective. So if their financial objective is to own a boat or go on a tropical vacation, then that representation, because it means something to you, is a great representation in your wealth and prosperity corner. It goes back to live with what you love, because you can have, I don't know. So here's a good example. This is just one of the images. So there's an image of probably a Kuan Yin, looks to me, but I could be incorrect. Anyway, if you don't like Kuan Yin, and I tell you to put Kuan Yin in your wealth and prosperity corner, it's not going to do anything for you but drive you crazy. So we need to surround ourselves with the things that we love, that have deep personal meaning to us. Yes? You want to add anything to that there, young lady?
I 1000% agree. Yeah, you want your home to represent the things that bring you joy and love, yes, and just elicit that positive vibration.
Mm-hmm. Because our homes should be our sanctuary.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. I was reading a book the other day. Anita and I are working on a book together, so coming soon.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And we're working with J.B. Owen. Now, for those of you who don't know who J.B. Owen is, she was just knighted. She is now Lady J.B. Owen, and she was knighted for her humanitarian work.
Wow, beautiful.
She's from Red Deer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. My city. I was like, really? Incredible lady. And she has Ignite Publishing. And they just published a compilation book called Ignite Wisdom. Her story in the Ignite Wisdom book really hit me. I'm not going to go into the details of the story. You can go onto Amazon and get the book and read it yourself. There's some phenomenal stories in the compilation. I think there's 32 or 35 authors. Anyway, one of the things she did at one of the lowest points in her life, she had gone to a retreat in the States. I think it was in Mount Shasta, but don't quote me on the location. Anyway, one of the practices they had them do every morning was to meditate. And then on one of the days, they had them go out into the desert. So maybe it wasn't Mount Shasta. Anyway, and draw a circle. And place only in that circle what you hold sacred. Mm-hmm. And she sat. And she sat. And she sat for a day. And placed nothing in it. And then the second day she went out there and she sat and placed nothing in it. And then that night it rained and she had to find the location. So every day it's not you have to go find it. Anyway, she started realizing what she held sacred. So she had symbolism of her children, of her health, and the story goes on. And when I read it, it got me thinking, why don't we treat our homes that way? Ooh. Why don't we only put things in our homes that we hold sacred? Holy moly, that's hitting me hard.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's very powerful.
So when we talk about surrounding ourselves, it's not with what we're being inundated in marketing. Mm. There's all kinds of products to sell. I'm not saying don't buy them. I'm just saying, why surround yourself with something somebody else thinks you should have?
Yeah. I think it's really like we're talking about intention, like really setting the intention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of those that go minimalist, they do it with the intention of only having, minimal this, minimal that, minimal that. And I understand that. But even those minimal things, if they mean nothing to you, if they don't fill your life, as you said it, Linsay, with joy, they're taking up valuable real estate. So we need to start looking at our homes, in my opinion, as really valuable real estate. And the only things that we hold sacred should be in them.
And that I would say like that can expand to everything, like our bodies, yeah, our vehicles are like everything because everything holds energy, right?
Absolutely.
Is it doing you a service or a disservice? Mm-hmm. It makes makes you really think. Yeah.
100%. So.
Yeah. And you are deserving,
and look at that. Maybe that's some stumbling blocks for people. Mm-hmm. I know I have issues in the wealth and prosperity area, abundance. I'm actually in the middle of reading a book by Victoria Rader that gets released this weekend, free download on Amazon, called Prosperity or Prosperous Me. Oh, hang on a sec. I got to get the name right for you. Oh my word. Amazing. This woman is amazing. Where is it? Come on. Victoria. Prosper Me. And it's a small m and a capital E, because it's about me and my energy.
So it's Prosper. I'll write it in the group here. Prosper. Yeah. Prosper Me.
Yeah, this is the cover.
By Victoria Rader.
Yeah. Who has just been awarded some, I can't even tell you everything that she's just been awarded. Anyway, it launches this weekend.
Beautiful. Thank you for
and
that.
She talks about the 35 universal laws. And in a different context. So she explains the laws, and then she goes on to talk about the energy with the laws. So, and starts with gratitude, where it all starts with. So
where it all starts.
Yay. Yeah. Which,
I love this.
That was one of the reasons we wanted to enhance, right?
Absolutely.
Enhance to improve your gratitude. So now let's talk about the number 34 card, which is the number 7 card, the single man's bedrooms. With the Feng Shui practice that you have up in Edmonton, and I know you're a busy girl, and I know you've worked with some single guys.
I have.
What have you, and you can't go into personal details, I get that. And we don't want to, because Feng Shui is a very personal journey. But what have you discovered, or what could you draw as conclusions? This is exciting. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah. What have I think a lot of the men that I've worked with, they haven't really tapped, like they're in this cusp of like transitioning and exploring the possibility of like the energy of what Feng Shui brings, and like the abundance. Okay. So when I first like meet these gentlemen, the space is beautiful, but it's like it comes alive, right? Like I bring in like this essence of the feminine power. And a lot of, and I feel like just our culture too, like it's not, for men, it's somewhat hasn't been like acceptable for them to like explore these tools, right?
For sure.
Yeah, and so it's like bringing new life. And I think right now it's a very powerful time because consciousness is rising, right? And we need like men coming into like that power, I think is like fairly important right now. And so yeah, Linsay, just I come in and like kind of rock their worlds with like all
Okay, let's get this straight. She's doing this via Feng Shui, people.
Yeah, Feng Shui. All Feng Shui. Yeah, I don't know. I love just like creating like possibilities, or like just bringing like this new life and new energy into the space. And like we talked about, it's like subtle, just like little subtle things of like balancing the energy, and as you know, talking about the wealth and prosperity corner in each room of the house, like we have also that wealth and prosperity corner in each room, right?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Tie it all in, and bringing in those aspects to enhance.
So would you say in the bedrooms, or quite often they call you in because they're looking for romance, there's an area of the Bagua that they really want to develop, or is it just curiosity? I'm curious.
I think it is curiosity, because you walk into these rooms and it's like they're single. There's not a lot of symmetry going on. It's typically I see a lot of like metal,
the harder energies.
Yeah. So yeah, just balancing balancing that out, and just like I said, bringing like those subtle changes and bringing like the awareness, you know, and sometimes like it's, I mean, you walk into a space and you can intuitively as practitioners see kind of like what's going on in their lives, right? And a lot of the times they'd be more like timid or quiet and sharing, but like, you know, you go in, it's like, you're single, or like, how single are you going through right now? And do you want that to change? You know, you start asking the questions,
right?
And they start opening up, and then you really get to know them on a deeper level, and like really help serve, like, you know, show up and serve them for their highest quality of life, right?
Nice. Yeah.
And so like seeing these changes and like enhancements, it's very powerful to watch.
It is, and it's amazing. So the bedrooms are quite often the last areas that get attention, right? And again, that's a sacred space.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be the dumping ground when it comes to men. More often than not, I've seen the clothes everywhere, the bicycle, all the sports equipment, disarray, disarray. And that speaks to the personality. I'm not judging disarray, but that it's a reflection. So for the guys watching this, or for the women or anybody watching this, when you understand that our outer world is a reflection of what's going on inside, that's where Linsay is saying we can instantly, looking into, I shouldn't say instantly, intuitively know what's going on in someone's life when we go into their spaces. Because if we walk in and it's disarray or chaotic, oftentimes that's what's going on inside. They may not share that with their friends. They may look like they've got it all together and they're good at hanging with the boys and being a team player. Meanwhile, inside they're in turmoil. They're struggling to find what they want to do, a relationship, and balance is probably one of the biggest things when you look into chaos.
I would say too, like the men that do hire me, they are tapped in to like their feminine side as well. And so
being able to show that maybe for them is what the challenge is, would you say?
Yeah, well, because like I said, in society, you know, the mindset of like kind of blocking that energy, but we all have the masculine and the feminine,
exactly,
us, right? And so just like I said, bringing that awareness and giving them like kind of just the grounding of like acceptance and like respect and like letting them know that it's okay, right? Giving them that like that security, permission, just like in that vulnerability, like, because that's strength right there. So
very cool, very cool. So excuse me, if we had any last words of advice for someone with, maybe it's an older son, a teenager, whatever, masculine, a boy, and you walk into their bedroom at home, and we wanted to enhance the wealth and prosperity because you're encouraging them to move out. Let's just say you're at that level of your relationship. They kind of want to move out, but they're really comfortable at home. You kind of want them to move out because it's time. What recommendations would you have for wealth and prosperity in a single man's bedroom?
In terms of like where he's living before he say moves?
Well, even if he's at home, right? So if he's living with his parents and he's getting ready to move out but can't afford to, let's just use that. And he wants to enhance the wealth and prosperity area of his bedroom. What could we put in a single man's bedroom? How could we enhance that area, specifically a single man? Because they may not be into purple or turtles or...
well, I would say, well, talking about just abundance and not just like wealth, but I would definitely look at symmetry, so things in pairs. So single man, like maybe he's looking for a relationship. So things in pairs. So that would just be like nightstands. I would look at creating space to invite a female, if they're open to wanting to date or attract someone into their life. Creating space for a female, say, to come in. I would look at like even the general basics of like any kind of bedroom, really, like placement of the bed, the cleanliness and being tidy and organized in the space, and just bringing attributes of that, or attributes of like self, of things that elicit joy within you, because the bedroom represents the 4 R's: rest, rejuvenation, and romance, right? And so I think it would be in the dialogue specifically of what that client is looking for, and then working around bringing in those enhancements specifically to their desires.
Awesome. And it could be, when it comes to the wealth and prosperity area, it could be what they hold high value of. So maybe they're a sports memorabilia collector, or they want to be. Not to get inundated in the space with sports memorabilia. Right. Let's be clear, that's where that balance has to come in. Things like that, right? Yeah. Or like you suggested, water imagery, possibly round shaped leaves in a plant.
Yeah.
And plants will really give you a good indicator of the energy in a space. So you can put a lovely money plant in the wealth and prosperity area of your son's bedroom and see how it grows.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's going to indicate the energy in the room. Mm-hmm. But always, you need their permission. They need to want to do this.
Yeah.
It's not you live in my house, it's my rules. We need to respect other people's privacy, and that includes our children's privacy. Mm-hmm. And the older they get, the more privacy they want. And at the same context, you want them to live a healthy, balanced life. So what results are showing up? Are they burying themselves in their room and not socializing, playing games all night, right? Not being social. Hygiene can sometimes play into effect. So it's a whole ball of wax. And it's a matter of disseminating it, disassembling it, and rebuilding it. But they have to want to do it.
Yeah, you have to be open. Kathy just had a question here. What about when someone allows their pets to take charge of the space?
Well, I would ask why. And we do see that. The pets control the house.
I actually just had a conversation with a friend that's in one of my coaching groups, or like coaching group that I'm in. Mm-hmm. And she was talking about, we were talking about meditation and her dailies. She didn't find that she was being successful with her dailies. And one of her dailies was meditation. And I had suggested her do her meditations in the morning. And she's like, well, I don't know if I can, because my dog, like I have to go into the room and I have to close the door on my dog. And I was like, what? Like, your dog's gonna be okay. Like, and so we're automatically, it's interesting how just people give their power away, mm-hmm. everything kind of outside of them, and they don't put themselves first, right? Like you need to put.
You would be the human.
Yeah, you need to do you first in order to help those around you, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's just funny because, it's interesting to watch how people are so quick to like give their power away to like the external, external forces, right? And yeah, like I mean, lots of cases too. I hear all the time how people let their animals sleep on their bed and then they get horrible sleeps. It's like, well, I know like you're a dog person or a cat person, and so there's like a sense of you that's like very compassionate and like, want that loving aspect of nurturing of the animals. However, if it's affecting you and like your livelihood, then you have to reevaluate that. And like, you know, sometimes it can be challenging because you've created a habit. But, yeah, you have to look at creating kind of new habits, and it's going to be new for you and the animal, right? So I think it's going to be super important that you start kind of that training like at beginning stages, so as time goes on it doesn't get as tough.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Agreed. And I mean, our dog sleeps on our bed.
Yeah, and sometimes
but I sleep like a log.
Yeah, it's dependent on the situation.
Exactly. So it depends. Yeah, and your definition. So I've seen more so where the cats are in the house. So the cat's toys are here, the cat scratch post is here, the cat's kitty litter is front and center. No. That's not a way to greet yourself. No. But like you said, it's a relationship you have with your pet, and you're the human.
Yeah.
If you weren't there, what would the cat do? Take over completely.
Yeah.
Or whatever pet. So we are already past the top of the hour.
I can continue this forever.
Right? It's fun. So thank you so much for blessing us with your wealth and knowledge, your beauty, your energy, because you're just so lovely. I adore you. Especially last minute, we interrupted her meditation this morning, literally. We hope Anita's grandbaby is feeling better. And thank you all for joining us on our 70th episode. It's just fascinating to me how you talked about the 7 to start with. We end with a 34 card, which is a number 7 card. And in the middle was the master number 11 card. And we've done too much talking to tell you about the number 11, but you can get your own double digitology book and look up the number 11 yourself. How's that? Awesome. Anything else? Anybody else we need to say? And thank you for joining in, Kathy, this morning.
Yeah, we have so we had Sharon,
Kathy, welcome, nice,
Paula.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Thanks for joining us. This is Cheryl of Feng Shui with Anita and Cheryl, and our very special friend, amazing Feng Shui practitioner from Edmonton, Alberta, Linsay Doyle. Linsay, to end the day, why don't you tell people how they can get a hold of you?
Sure. So you can find me at or email me at linsay@reclaimyourspace.ca, or my website is reclaimyourspace.ca.
Excellent. And you're on Instagram too, aren't you?
I am on Instagram at linsay.doyle/reclaimyourspace.
Perfect. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, my dear. Thank you all for joining us. We will see you in a week.
See you then.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.